The year is 2024. The American people brace themselves for another tumultuous election season. The political landscape feels like a powder keg ready to explode. Tensions are high, stakes are higher. But no one could have predicted the dramatic twist that would redefine the race for the White House. From the outset of his presidency, Biden's age was a topic of discussion. It was a point of contention and curiosity, a subject that seemed to follow him everywhere. At 77, he was already the oldest person ever to assume the presidency. This fact alone set him apart from his predecessors, casting a unique spotlight on his tenure. Now, as his first term nears its end, the passage of time has become more evident. The physical and mental demands of the presidency are immense, and the signs of aging are hard to ignore. The once sprightly steps seem a little slower. The vigor that characterized his earlier days in office appears to be waning, replaced by a more measured pace. The famous Biden smile feels a touch more weary. The lines on his face tell a story of long days and sleepless nights, of the weight of the world resting on his shoulders. Concerns about Biden's health were initially confined to hushed conversations in Washington corridors and speculative articles in right-leaning media. These whispers were often dismissed as partisan attacks, lacking substantial evidence. However, as time wore on, these whispers grew louder, finding their way into mainstream news cycles and everyday conversations across the nation. The topic of Biden's health became a common thread in political discourse, transcending party lines. The murmurs reached a fever pitch following a particularly jarring incident during a live address from the Oval Office. It was a moment that captured the nation's attention, leaving many to question the president's ability to continue leading effectively. Biden, visibly fatigued, appeared to lose his train of thought, pausing for an uncomfortably long time before regaining his composure. The incident was brief, but its impact was profound, sparking a wave of concern and speculation. The incident, though brief, sent shockwaves through the nation and ignited a firestorm of debate. It became a focal point for critics and supporters alike, each side interpreting the event through their own lens. The question was no longer whether Biden's age and health were a concern, but rather what this meant for the Democratic Party and their hopes for the 2024 election. The stakes were high, and the future seemed uncertain. The party faced a critical decision: to stand by their incumbent president or to seek a new candidate who could carry their banner forward with renewed energy and vigor. The nation watched closely, aware that the outcome would shape the political landscape for years to come. The Oval Office incident was a turning point. It forced the Democratic Party to confront the elephant in the room, Biden's vulnerability. The man who had united a fractured nation, who had promised to be a steady hand in turbulent times, was now seen as a liability. Behind closed doors, frantic discussions took place. Party leaders, once confident in Biden's re-election, grappled with the potential fallout of another campaign. The whispers of concern escalated into urgent debates. There was a shared sense of respect and loyalty towards Biden. He had, after all, led the country through a tumultuous period. However, there was also a growing realization that his age and declining health could jeopardize their chances of holding on to the White House. The Democratic Party found itself at a crossroads, facing a decision that would shape the future of the nation. Section 4. A leader emerges. As doubts about Biden's candidacy grew, all eyes turned towards Vice President Kamala Harris. The political landscape was shifting, and the nation was in search of a leader who could navigate these turbulent times with grace and determination. Charismatic, intelligent, and a powerful orator, Harris represented a new generation of leadership. Her speeches resonated with people from all walks of life, inspiring hope and a sense of unity. Here was a woman who had shattered glass ceilings, who embodied the hopes and aspirations of millions. Her journey from a district attorney to the Vice President of the United States was a testament to her resilience and dedication. Harris's track record was impeccable. She had consistently fought for justice, equality, and the rights of the underrepresented. Her legislative achievements were numerous, and her ability to build coalitions was unmatched. As a senator and then as vice president, she had proven herself to be a capable and dedicated public servant. Her tenure was marked by significant policy advancements and a commitment to transparency and accountability. She possessed a keen understanding of policy, a sharp wit, and an unwavering commitment to social justice. Her ability to articulate complex issues in a relatable manner made her a beloved figure among her supporters. For many Democrats, Harris was the obvious choice. Her vision for the future aligned perfectly with the party's core values: and her leadership style was both inclusive and forward-thinking. She represented the best of what the party stood for: diversity, progress, and a commitment to the needs of all Americans. Her candidacy was a beacon of hope for those who believed in a more equitable and just society. With Biden's blessing, the Democratic Party rallied behind Kamala Harris, officially naming her as their nominee for the 2024 presidential election. This endorsement was a significant moment, symbolizing a seamless transition of leadership within the party. A new chapter in American history was about to be written. The nation stood at the precipice of change, ready to embrace a leader who promised to bring about a brighter, more inclusive future for all. Section 5. The Weight of History. The announcement of Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee sent shockwaves through the country. It was a moment that many had long awaited, a moment that seemed to encapsulate the dreams and struggles of countless individuals who had fought for equality and justice over the decades. For the first time in history, a major political party had nominated a woman of color for the presidency. This was not just a political milestone, it was a cultural and social landmark that resonated deeply with people from all walks of life. It was a watershed moment, a testament to how far the nation had come in its fight for equality. The echoes of past civil rights leaders could be felt in the air, their sacrifices and efforts culminating in this historic nomination. Harris's nomination was met with a mixture of jubilation and cautious optimism. While many celebrated this groundbreaking achievement, others were mindful of the challenges that lay ahead. Her supporters saw her as a symbol of hope and progress, a leader who could unite a divided nation and usher in an era of positive change. They believed in her vision for a more inclusive and equitable America, one where every voice could be heard and every person could thrive. However, Harris was also acutely aware of the challenges ahead. She knew that the road to the presidency would be fraught with obstacles, and that her every action would be under intense scrutiny. She knew that her candidacy would be scrutinized more closely, her every word dissected, her every move analyzed. The media, the public, and her political opponents would all be watching her closely, ready to pounce on any perceived misstep. Her opponents, eager to exploit any perceived weakness, were already sharpening their knives. But Harris was ready. She had faced adversity before and had always emerged stronger. She was prepared to confront the challenges head-on, with resilience and determination. She embraced the weight of history on her shoulders, understanding that her campaign was about more than just winning an election. It was about carrying forward the legacy of those who had come before her, and paving the way for future generations. It was about fighting for the soul of America, for the promise of a more just and equitable society. Harris knew that her journey was not just her own, it was a collective journey, one that involved the hopes and dreams of millions of people who believed in a better future. As she moved forward, she drew strength from the stories of those who had fought for justice before her. She was inspired by the courage of civil rights leaders, the determination of activists, and the unwavering spirit of ordinary citizens who had stood up for what was right. Harris's campaign was a beacon of hope for many, a sign that change was possible and that the future could be brighter. Her message resonated with people across the nation, from urban centers to rural communities, from young to old. She reached out to young voters, encouraging them to get involved and make their voices heard. She reminded them that they were the future and that their participation was crucial in shaping the direction of the country. With each speech, each rally, and each interaction, Harris reinforced her commitment to building a more inclusive and just society. She knew that the road ahead would be challenging, but she was ready to face it with courage and conviction. The weight of history was heavy, but Harris carried it with grace